Hello, I'm Órla Allen medium and Órla Allen author, and I'm going to read some cards for you. But first, I just want to quickly show you my recording space. There you go. Aren't all the lights really pretty? So I've picked out 4 cards for you today, and it's coming from this magical place. And the first card we have is the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man talks about where we see things are a problem when they're not actually a problem. So it's like where something simple happens, and instead of just appreciating that it is exactly what we think it is, that something becomes bigger and bigger and bigger in our head. It grows arms and legs. So it's very much talking about where we are imagining things are worse than they actually are. So what I want to say with this first card is just take a deep breath. Ask yourself if it's really as bad as you think it is, or as you've worked it up in your head. Take a wee step back from the situation and look at it again with fresh eyes. What can you do to make it change? What can you do to make it better? The next card we have is the 7 of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles are talking about your finances or your abundance. And the 7's talking about where we are creating our future. We're making things happen for ourselves. So that, coupled with the Hanged Man card, very much talks about where you need to be careful of what you're thinking of, because you're almost creating the problem. And I kind of feel like in this situation that there's somebody else who's involved in this. So there's some sort of relationship issue. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have a issue with your relationship, but it could be where you have a problem with your boss, where you have a problem with a best friend, or indeed you have a problem with your partner. And I don't feel like initially this is that big a problem, but to you it feels like a big problem. And I feel like it's important that you realise that, because, how can I put this? It's almost like you're creating a problem by thinking there's a problem. So it's kind of like when we check in on somebody and say, "You all right?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm fine," but their face doesn't say that it is. So we ask them again and we ask them again. And this is just because we think there's a problem. We think they're not happy. But it gets to the stage where we're irritating them and we're creating a problem because we keep asking the same question. And we kind of think that they're not telling us the truth, or they're not telling us everything, because their face basically says that something's wrong. So what I feel like this is talking about is where you have a situation with somebody where you think there's a problem. There's not actually a problem. But if you keep niggling and pestering and picking away at the situation, there's going to be a problem, because they're going to get really irritated. And all of a sudden, you've been proven right because you thought there was a problem, but there really wasn't. You've created this situation. So I hope that makes sense. Now, with this card, we're talking about finances and we're talking about abundance, which is why I initially said I didn't feel like it was a relationship, although it can be. I didn't feel like it was a partner this relationship was referring to. It was more to do with finances. So it was somebody you worked with or somebody you worked for. And I kind of feel like whatever insecurities you have in yourself, that's what's fueling this problem or this issue that you're building up into your head, that you're kind of thinking, "Oh, I didn't do that right," or, "I'm going to get fired," or whatever it is that's going on in your head. You're overthinking the situation. So try to take a step back, take a deep breath, and remember that you're creating whatever you're focusing on at the moment. So try not to think on whatever it is that's troubling you. Try to think about what you're trying to achieve, because there will have been a goal behind this. You'll have been trying to either do really well in a project or move up the professional ladder. And that's what you need to focus on. You need to kind of go, right, okay, I'm going to just park this here and I'm going to focus back on what it is I should be focusing on. And it's almost like what you're parking is going to resolve itself as long as you leave it alone. Okay, next up we have the Empress card, which is a fantastic card to have on the back of that, because the Empress card talks about where we have everything we need. We have all the tools, we have the ability. So if you are thinking about moving up the ladder, if you are thinking about going out and trying something more, or going for promotion or changing job, anything like that at all, anything where you are appreciating your own self-worth, anywhere you're giving yourself a little bit of self-love and saying, "Do you know what, I deserve better," or "I deserve more," then that's what this Empress card is talking about. And then we have the Three of Wands, or sticks in this case. Sorry, that really threw me there as of what I was going to call the card. So the three talks about where things are just plodding along. So I feel like we need to put ourselves out there, but it's not going to happen straight away. Okay, so we need to apply for the jobs. We need to let our boss know we're interested in promotion, because sometimes that's all it takes, is to let our boss know that we want to take the next step up the ladder, or we want more responsibility, and that will come in time. And this Three of Wands is talking about where a work situation is just plodding along. It's just kind of, you're just going into work, doing what you have to, and being able to pay the bills at the end of the day. So I feel like there is potential for a promotion, or there's potential for betterment, but it's not going to be quick. Okay, so it's not going to happen next month. It's not going to happen next week. It's certainly not going to happen tomorrow. Okay, so you need to be aware that you need to put more work in. You need to prove yourself almost, and then the promotion or whatever it is you're trying to work for will be coming towards you in the future. But it's very important that right now you're focused on what it is you're trying to achieve, letting go of whatever it is that you think is going on. Maybe it's just a case where the person needs a little bit of space to kind of find their feet again. But it's very much a case of where you need to focus on what it is you want to achieve, and you need to go for it. You need to have a little bit of faith in yourself and put yourself forward for it. What's the worst they can say? No? Well, you'll still be in the same place you are now. But the cards very much aren't saying that. The cards are very much saying you put yourself out there, you put the work in to prove that you mean it, and then we'll see what happens. But it feels very positive. It feels like we're going to make changes. You may not get exactly what you want, but you will be a step closer to achieving whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Okay, best of luck in everything you're trying to achieve. Remember to keep out of your head. Take a deep breath, meditate if you need to, and just keep pushing forward, because you are worth it. You are enough, and you deserve more than you have right now. Have an absolutely fabulous evening, and I will speak to you all again soon, hopefully.